Hello, my name's David Wilson and this is a making of for the music video We Got Time by Moray McLaren. This video mainly revolves around a series of animations that are displayed on a little device called a PRAXINOSCOPE. The PRAXINOSCOPE came as a successor to the more familiar zoetrope and was invented by a Frenchman called Charles-Émile Renault back in 1877. My design here is more based around an adaptation of this mechanism created by Red Raven for their movie record players that were produced in the 1950s. So there are 16 mirrors on each carousel, and likewise there are 16 frames of animation on each record label. One of the major challenges of this technique was getting the moving image to return to its starting point within 16 frames, and when you've got the record spinning at 45 revolutions per minute, that gives you just over a second of animation before the disc loops. So here's how it works. I've drawn 16 lines on this disc, and when it's spun, the mirrored facets of the carousel match up to create a static line. Then if I take 16 frames of animation and place each frame on these lines and then spin it, the deer animate but pretty much stay in a stationary position. Now if I take 15 frames and place them evenly around the disc, these deer actually move from left to right because the deer are spinning faster than the carousel. Placing 17 frames on the disc has the reverse effect, making the deer run from right to left because these deer are rotating slower than the carousel. And finally, I can place all these three frame rates together and get something that looks like this. I drew the animations by hand over a period of 5 weeks. I felt this mechanism of rotation and looping fitted in well with the theme for the video itself. The animations are based around life cycles and the cruelty of nature, the fact that there's a natural balance and rotation found in life, where the death of one living creature actually creates life for another, and how parallels can be drawn between these cycles to the difficulties and joys and comings and goings of our human relationships. It's nice to start with such a lo-fi concept of these record players and then build it up from there. Every day this mechanism seemed to throw up more and more things to play with, whether that was the mirrors reflecting these glorious beams of light and the atmosphere that created, or how it was possible to stack the animation into a tower and then actually link between them. The other animation technique used in the video comes from syncing up the frame rate of the camera to that of the rotating disc. This is how we're able to achieve the overhead shots where the record discs display an animation without the camera viewing the side of the mirrors. This means that we're able to achieve every animation that you see in this video live in camera. So there's no stop frame animation and no superimposing, it was just syncing up the frame rates between the moving drawings and the camera. In order to achieve this, we created 14 mirrored carousels and 114 individually illustrated record labels. Another major part of the preparation was producing an animated storyboard called an animatic. This was produced so we could follow it religiously during the 2-day shoot in order to get everything done to the correct timings. And one of the really interesting and nice things about this shoot was how it often felt quite surreal to be working and interacting with animation, which is often a very slow process, in such a fast, live action way. What I really thrived to be able to achieve with this music video was to be able to translate how hypnotic these animation techniques are to watch in real life, and to translate that through the video to the viewer, and I hope you've enjoyed it.